Hello, Pumas, coming at you today to talk about two communication styles, aggressive and passive. They're kind of opposites. So I'm looking at them in terms of what they are, what they sound like, what they look like, and how they make the listener feel. And first, we're tackling aggressive communication. So what is it? Aggressive communication is where the aggressive person wins, and I'm doing air quotes because it's not like they win the game. It's that they gain power, or that they make the other person feel badly about themselves, or maybe they just get their way, and the other person loses. They choose for other people. They are inappropriately honest or lack tact. Tact means you have the ability to say something or to express something without hurting other people's feelings. They're often derogatory or condescending. Oh my gosh, do you have any brains at all? Or condescending means making you feel like you're smaller or younger or more stupid than you really are. What does it sound like? It might sound like commands, barking at people, telling them what to do without saying please or thank you, and using a nasty tone of voice. It might sound like accusing, accusations, insults. Aggressive people often interrupt other people before they have a chance to finish what they're saying. They often, not always, but often use a loud voice and or an angry or sarcastic tone of voice. Sarcasm is classic aggressive behavior, although sarcasm can also be passive aggressive, and we're not going to tackle that today. Anyway, things that aggressive people might say are, okay, what you need to do is stop being such an idiot and blah, blah, blah. What were you thinking? Oh my gosh, you make me so mad. They also like to use words like always and never. Those are called false generalizations. So how many of you have been accused of never picking up your shoes, or never cleaning your room, or always leaving your plate, your dirty dishes on the table? Always and never are aggressive words because they put the other person on the defensive. I don't always leave my shoes out. One Tuesday in 2018, I put them away. So they put the other person on the defensive. What does aggressive behavior look like? Well, it might look like pointing at someone. It might look like staring at someone, getting really close up in their face, maybe rolling your eyes at them. That can be aggressive. Aggressive person's body language might look like this, right in front of you, arms crossed. It may look like making themselves look bigger, putting their hands on their hips, leaning over someone to make them seem smaller than they are. A teacher could use that body language to show they have power over a student who is sitting in a chair. Aggressive people often look impatient, and they may also seem a little bit nervous if they're not used to being aggressive, or if they're aggressive in a new sort of situation. Maybe like in public where they might get in trouble for being aggressive. All right, how does the listener feel? I want you to think about this. I have a couple of puppets here. I have passive pig and aggressive horse. So if horse is being aggressive rah, 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 to pig, how does that make passive pig feel? Well, the listener feels like power is being taken away from them. So passive pig actually has some thoughts and feelings, but the aggressive horse is not letting him share. A listener to someone who's being aggressive might feel stupid. They might feel like they're not good enough. They might feel like they don't really matter. They might feel like this person is not listening to a word that I'm saying. I am shocked at how this person is treating me. Or they might feel humiliated, hurt, resentful, guilty. I don't know about you, but I didn't wake up this morning and go, oh my gosh, what a beautiful day. I hope I feel hurt, humiliated, and resentful today. That'll be a good day. No, that's not what we wake up thinking. All right. So aggressive communication is hurtful. It really is, to other people. And aggressive communication can also be linked to aggressive behavior as well. All right. So let's move on to passive communication, passive pig. What does that look like? Well, passive pig allows other people to choose for them. So if the pig were at the grocery store trying to agree on a type of ice cream to buy with passive pig's friends, he would be like, I don't really care. Any kind of ice cream is okay with me. When actually in his head, he's like, mint chocolate chip. I really hope somebody picks mint chocolate chip. But passive pig does not want to hurt anyone else's feelings or cause anyone else to have to eat mint chocolate chip ice cream if they don't want it. So passive pig would rather just have ice cream than to be able to have the specific kind of ice cream that he likes. So passive people allow other people to choose for them in that way. They indirectly deny themselves. So they don't go around saying, oh, I'm not important, whatever you think. But that's exactly what their communication style shows. I've got a little dog fight going on here. Some dog aggression. Knock it off. They passive people are the loser. In a win-lose situation, the passive people are going to lose. Ooh, here's a good illustration of aggressive behavior in dogs. The passive person is going to lose because the aggressive person is going to win. And I don't mean like win the game. I mean get the power or get their way or get the choice that the aggressive person knows what they want and they'll get it at the cost of hurting the passive person's feelings. If a passive person ever does get their own way, it's indirectly. So let's go back to that very simple ice cream decision. And passive pig doesn't say what kind of ice cream he wants, but in his head he's like, mint chocolate chip, I hope they choose mint chocolate chip. And somebody else says, well, how about mint chocolate chip? Pig will be like, oh, okay, that sounds good. And in his head he's like, yes, but he didn't get his way because he said, this is what I want. He got his way because it just happened that other people chose that for him. All right. So what does passive communication sound like? Passive people might say things like this. I don't know. Whatever you think is best. They follow the group or they go with the crowd. What everybody else is doing is what a passive person chooses to do. They are emotionally dishonest. They rarely say what they're really feeling. They shove their emotions down inside. They might use a quiet voice. Lots of times passive people don't speak up for themselves, or if they do, they use a really quiet voice and then they might follow it up with, well, if that's okay with you, I would like mint chocolate chip if everyone else thinks that's okay. But if they don't, that's okay too. Passive people who passively communicate also lack firm decision-making skills. So sometimes you really don't care. Let's say you're hanging out with your friends. You just want to hang out with your friends. Oh, can you imagine post-COVID-19? We're all going to be so excited to hang with our friends. We're not going to care what we actually do. So somebody says, hey, what do you want to do? We go, oh, I don't care. What do you want to do? If you truly don't care, that's not passive. But if you really, really have a feeling or a desire and you don't share it, that's passive communication, passive behavior. All right, lack of firm decision making. What does passive communication look like? Lack of eye contact. They might not look people in the eye. Their posture may be slouched. They may be fiddling with their hands or shuffling their feet. They often seem nervous. It may seem like they're not giving you their full attention because they're not giving you eye contact. How do they make the listener feel? So if passive pig is really not sharing how he feels and horse is trying to get him to share and say, well, what do you think? I really want to do what you want to do today, pig. And pig says, I don't care. Horse may feel like pig really doesn't care about anything. Horse might think, I could walk all over this person and it really wouldn't matter. They wouldn't care. This person has absolutely no backbone. The person who's dealing with someone who's communicating passively might feel ignored. They might feel helpless, or they might feel manipulated into always having to make the decision. So passive and aggressive behavior, these are not healthy ways of communicating because aggressive is blurting out your feelings and blasting other people to the point where you probably are hurtful. And passive communications shoves your feelings down, and eventually they may erupt into aggressive behavior, or they may turn into, those feelings don't go away, they may turn into depression or anger issues later. All right, students, you are going to watch a clip of Back to the Future and identify different types of passive and aggressive elements in it. Have fun.